once again, it's our edition of Whitney's Women. Whitney Reynolds is here. Welcome back.
Well, it is wonderful to be back, and I am joined by a fabulous woman from the Chicagoland area that not only started an amazing organization, but also has so much just heart behind it and a personal story of how it all came to life for you with Simple Destiny. So how are you? Welcome to the show, Liza.
Nervous, but I'm great.
Sometimes I forget, Robin, because we do this day in, day out, that sometimes it's people's first time on the radio. So, but you're wonderful, and thank you for joining us today, because it is real stories that we like to tell on Whitney's Women. And you started this organization because of your daughter. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my brother's actually the one that started the full organization. I came on later on board, but what promoted us was that I had lost my daughter to suicide in 2010. And shortly thereafter, 2 other families lost their children to suicide also, and they were families that we knew. So my brother, who was working with youth at the time, felt like there was a need that we needed to do something to have a place that the kids could come to when they were going through troubles.
And through that experience, sometimes when people, hit a very high pain point in their life, they, either step back and say, this is too much, or they decide, I'm going to make my mark. I'm going to use what happened to our family and make a difference. So how did you go about channeling that pain into creating this organization?
The first 2 years were very hard for me. I was, and I tell my story openly just because I want people to see what's behind, what we go through on a daily basis. So the first, I'd say 2 years, it was really hard, and I was grieving. And my brother, during this time, was trying to get the organization off the ground. And one day, he would constantly call me and tell me to come in and help him out. And I would be like, yeah, I'll try to get there, but it was very painful for me to see kids laughing and dancing and having a good time, and here I am missing my daughter. And one day I walked in, and there was a young lady crying, and she was about 16, 17, and I was looking at her, and I said to him, like, why is she crying? What could she possibly be crying about? And he said to me, she said that if she were gone tomorrow, no one would miss her. Oh. And that was my breaking point, because I felt like I miss my daughter every single day.
Every day.
And yet, here's this young lady who's going through something, and she's alone. And that was when I decided to fully join the organization, and we've been just going ever since.
So the organization itself is outreach for youth.
Yes.
And is it necessarily people that have either tried to commit suicide, or is it just outreach in general of our youth are troubled, they might not know what direction their trouble is going or how it might affect them? What is your main outreach?
So our biggest thing was we wanted to shed awareness on suicide, on the topic itself. So there are kids that are in the organization that have either attempted or have struggled or have been hospitalized. But not every student there is like that. And that was one of the misconceptions that we got along the way was, well, every child there is, there's something wrong with them. No, but every child might be going through something that you don't realize, and they're having a hard time dealing with it, whether it's, loss of a loved one, gang violence, things that have happened in the home,
real issues that are
families.
happening.
Yeah, real issues that may not impact us the same way, but it's impacting them in a way that they don't know how to deal with.
One thing we've covered on my show time and time again is how important mental health is to keep up on, because so often we talk about our physical health and we focus on that. We work out every day, we do this, we do that, but we forget that mental health is just as important.
Oh, yes.
In those teenage years, hormones are raging, and I'm so glad that there's this outlet for teens. So you have something coming up, and you said that you're known for being a dance team, but you're really more than that. You're a youth center.
Yes.
But the event you have coming up involves dancing.
Yes, it does.
Tell us about it.
So we are doing next Thursday at the Gaslight Manor. We are doing our first annual Dancing with Our Stars competition. And basically 12 of our kids have been lined up with 12 community members, and they are going to be doing a dance-off.
Oh, man. Now, this sounds right up my alley. Now, I'm not dancing in it this year, but you better count me in future years, because this sounds amazing. And like you said, they're teaming up with some of your kids.
Yes.
So how do people either attend this event or how do they get involved?
Well, all the information, all the ticket sales, everything is on our website. So it's www.simplydestiny.com. So they can get all the information there, purchase a ticket, register to vote, anything. We're going to have a silent auction. So it's going to be a great night. I'm truly, truly excited because I've been watching the kids practice with their partners, and it is like, it's just energy. So that's really what we're looking forward to.
I get so stinking competitive, Robin. If I was in this dance-off...
I'm shocked to hear that.
And I just would have to win. So I'd be like, vote, vote, vote. I mean, it would be crazy. So,
yeah. That's what it's going to be a great night, and it's really all about just keeping the doors open. So it's all for the kids.
And that's what, like Simply Destiny needs people to come alongside you guys and help support because you're reaching so many kids.
We have about 100 kids at any given time in our organization right now.
That is absolutely amazing. And going back to your daughter's story, her name was Destiny.
Yes.
So that's how it all got started.
Yeah. She was a tomboy, so she was never a girly girl, but she was always very accepting of herself, and she would always say, I'm simply me, I'm simply Destiny. And that's where my brother decided to take that name and use it towards this organization and everything that we promote, because we tell the kids often, love yourselves for who you are, and don't expect to be the person next to you. There's enough critics in the world.
Yeah.
So be accepting of you, who you are and how you are. Like, don't change for anyone.
I hope all of the people that are listening, like, either tell their kids that today, or if you're in the car and you are a teenager or maybe even younger, you can hear that and understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
What do you want parents to know about what you went through and what you learned? Did you see any warning signs that this could happen to you and your family?
My daughter's situation was a little different just because she had just been diagnosed as epileptic, and they gave her a medication, and she was on the medication 5 weeks, and never once did they tell me that one of the side effects was suicidal thoughts. And I did see changes, and I did see signs that, looking back now, I can say, yeah, I saw them, but I didn't realize that they were, us as parents, sometimes we say, oh, it's just a phase, or, they'll get over it. They're just upset. But you never know what could possibly happen. Unfortunately, I had to wake up to every parent's worst nightmare and find my daughter. So for me, it's like, now I look and when parents say, oh, they're just acting out. Maybe there really is something they just need to talk about, and maybe we don't understand it the same way that they do, but they're struggling with it.
Right.
And we need to be there to let them know that we support them.
Oh, that is so good. And that's what your organization's all about. So tell us again where people can find out about the event in case they want to get involved.
So like I said, we have a Facebook page. It says Simply Destiny Youth Center.
And Destiny is spelled
DESTINEE.
Yes. E. So remember the double E. Yeah.
Yes. So it's Simply Destiny Youth Center, and then we also have our website, which is www.simplydestiny.com.
Thank you so much, Liza, for coming on. And, just being open to tell your story, because I know it's never easy kind of reliving that. But the mission now lives on, and your daughter is making such an impact just through her life story and through what you guys are doing as an organization.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for being here, ladies. But I know you've got lots going on, Whitney, because, you've got a new season coming up. So
new season.
Before you go, could you tell me about that?
Yeah, so the new season of The Whitney Reynolds Show hits March 26th. It's going to be at Cambria in the Theater District. We're going to do a live launch party. We're going to be watching it. And I also have a book launch the same night called Beyond the Interview. We're taking some of my favorite interviews and doing a 52-week guide of inspiration. And we're taking them a little bit further than what you heard on the show. So on the show, we cover these big topics, but in the guide, we go a little deeper, and I'm telling you, you will be inspired, and there's just so much hope blossoming with this new season. So March 26th, it comes out on Lakeshore PBS, but we would love to have you at the launch party, so you can go to WhitneyReynolds.com and find out all the info there.
How do you find time? Look at this in.
You know what? It is all about structure. And that's what I say, yeah. So if you see me, I'm usually living by my planner. So, yeah. But thank you so much for coming on. And, you know, I have to say, we've been going on a couple of years of doing Whitney's Women, and it is amazing the stories that come out on this, and just having a radio station that's dedicated to shining light on women that are giving back in our community is so amazing. So thank you always for having Whitney's Women and, you know, hosting these fabulous stories. And Liza, thank you for being brave enough to be able to tell them.
Thank you.
Awesome job.
Yay! For more information, check out WhitneyReynolds.com or get social with us. Twitter @Whitney Reynolds or on Facebook, The Whitney Reynolds Show.